Good day, everyone. We sincerely apologize for this. I want to say the traffic in the air was just out of this world. It's as if something was just happening left, right, and center that delayed us on this. And we hope that the network is very, very okay this night. So, without wasting time, this is Dial Central, the most handsome, yakable Africanicious, ardently pumping a physical husband. And with me, I have with me in the studio my beautiful wife.
You're welcome to the live stream today. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Okay,
Uh,
it's like our voices. We lost our voices due to some presentation we had somewhere. Okay, to start with, what are we looking at? Today we are looking at the passing away of Queen Elizabeth II and the world. And how the world, you will see a lot of persons, they'll be saying, how the world, oh, Jim Barak is here. Wow. You see a lot of people already saying it that the world is going to change
change.
without having the presence of this our Queen Elizabeth on ground, because he has been there back to back from one war to the other to witness the whole lot that is happening in the world. But which angle are we coming from today? Let's just sit back and relax. Before I do that, let me share the link with as many that are interested to join us live in the studio, because this is one of a kind of a live stream in which the whole world is drawing the whole world is drawing lessons from what is presently ongoing. But when it comes to the continent of, okay, for those of you that want to join us in the studio, kindly see the link below. That's the link for us to join the conversation. And if there is anything I need to show us before we start, a lot of persons have been talking about the passing of Queen Elizabeth. And a lot of reactions have been coming from different, especially African countries, that if you want to talk about Queen Elizabeth, and they are now asking African countries to start mourning, then some are reacting to this that is just like a way of celebrating your colonial master ties. But today, I'm going to be having my own view. My wife is going to be having her own view. Let's see how much of sense applies on both sides, because the best way we can ascertain a situation is to look at it from both sides, so that we can come to a reasonable conclusion to say, oh, these are the lessons learned. But before we start delving into that, who is Queen Elizabeth? Queen Elizabeth happens to be one of the most outstanding Twalicious mother in Africa, in Nigeria. Here, we call people like that Twale. You know, she happens to have ruled our world for 70 years, 214 days. 70 years, 214 days to rule our world. And this is one of the long lasting monarch that I don't know how to even say this. She owns 6.6 billion acres of land. 6.6 billion acres of land. Whereas we are talking about their own geographical settlement as just an island, because England is just what? An island. Now she is ruling the world from that section of the world, having access to 6.6, not million, billion acres of land. That means that this queen is very, very rich. She has all the land, and I am here in Africa. I don't, I don't have a land. That was what someone was saying. He said that he is there in Africa. He doesn't have a single plot of land. So the queen has 6.6 billion hectares of land
in her name.
in her name. And now she also is the owner of she's the owner of the Wales, the whales, the animal. I still want to understand that. Maybe those of you from the UK, make me understand when you say the queen is the owner of the whales. You know, maybe I should understand. I'm still trying to boot because it's still alien to me. Okay, and this particular queen that we are talking about, she's in luxury. In short, the system they are practicing, I'll be delving into that. I'm just trying to give us a kind of introduction into the matter of discourse. This Queen Elizabeth that we are looking at today, during her lifetime, she is the head of state of 320 states. When I mean state, I mean countries. 320 countries. But before she died, before her death, it narrowed down to 15 countries. 15 countries.
States of Scotland,
Now, she's the head
Australia,
of state of Canada,
Australia.
Australia, um, so many countries that will be listing out very soon. But I think I just need to take my break. Even Jamaica, even the Bahama or what have you. So we are not talking about somebody that can be pushed over. Now the situation is this. Let's come from this angle. What is your own opinion about this queen? She lived a life of smiling. She's always smiling with everybody. Even when she comes to Nigeria, she's smiling. Even when, so that I want to interpret her smiling as a good person. So, but my some of my African brothers and sisters, they are like giving me some versions that I'm trying to comprehend. Is it that she's using what they call smiling komini omi in Africa? You know, in Africa, they say someone is using smiles to carry away your pot of soup. Okay, so I think my wife should just have it from here. Okay, what's James saying? Jim is saying the monarchy during her reign made it clear that the pen is mightier than the sword. Oh, great, great. Okay, she's she's the Canadian. She she's on the Canadian money. That is true power. Okay.
Yes, she's in the money of over 15 countries that she's the head of state.
Okay.
Yes, what we're actually discussing tonight is the distortion, like we have in Great Britain now. They are upholding their monarch system, their system of kingship, rulership. And but the distortions that have been made here in Africa, that is what we want to look at. And you see that most of the African countries are still suffering from the aftermath of what has been done by this wonderful queen today. With all due respect, may her soul rest in perfect peace. But the thing is, we want to call a spade a spade. We should just come out in plain words and say, were there distortions due to our policies not in Nigeria, now in Africa? Is it to talk about Kenya that organized 4 days mourning for the Queen? Like Kenya, it was in Kenya she heard about the death of her father, and that was when she now went to England and she started to rule. I think that was in 19 1952 stroke 1953. That was when she started ruling, and she was just 26 at that time, and she ruled up to 8th of September 2022. That's 70 years. And during this year, various Africans, as in, have been into lots and lots of, how will I say it? You know about imperialism, you know about decolonization, you know about the sufferings that Africans. There is this word that there is no brick on Liverpool that doesn't have the blood of the slaves of Africa on it. And these things, but yet you see these people, they're very good, they smile at us, they tell us they are friends, we are this, we are that. But we want to know, were they really there for us, as in being there, as in helping us out with our policies, or they were there to just take away our monarchs, the system of rulership in Africa? Then you've heard of the Benin Empire that was like the greatest in the whole of is it Southern Africa then, Western Africa then. The Benin Empire, the Benin Kingdom was a very great kingdom, but it was annexed by the British. before you know what's happening. But these people that next this that took over, they are still upholding their own monarch system there, and they've given us democracy in Africa. But the democracy, is it really democracy? Is it not just, I don't want to say some things as in, because these people are your clientele. Is it not just that they are just putting their own type of persons there so that they can still be, I want to sound so nice, so that they can still be gaining from us, they can still be milking from Africa, and they know that if we still had the kingship, the monarch system in Africa ruling now, the kings, the lords, they will be able to control their empires. They will be able to know that this is what I want in my kingdom, and they will be able to manage our resources well. But now it's, we have the president, like now in Britain, the president, their prime minister, is chosen by the queen. Just like 2 days before she died, she still chose the current prime minister. So, but here we now have presidents lording over our kings. Do you understand? And these kings are like the closest to the common people. They are the ones who really relate to those on the grassroots level. And they don't have any say now in Africa, somewhere in Nigeria where we come from. The kings, like the king of Ife, actually came out and said, you people are there. I think he went to the parliament, he went to the senate, he said, you people are there sitting in your sealed houses and you're making laws, but you're not closer to these people on the grassroots. We have this group that are agitating, they are the youths, they are angry with all the policies you're coming up with. You're not remembering the youth, you're not considering them, and yet you are sitting in your sealed houses making the policies, and you go with your bulletproof cars, you are making the policies. But here we, that the kings, that the monarchs, we are very close to these people and we are not protected. And you know, they can just come and harm us. So what are you doing? But these are things that our wonderful queen, may her soul rest in perfect peace, I honor her, I appreciate her, I respect her. These are some of the things they've come to establish here in Africa. But right now, Prince Charles III is ruling, and he's still the one. Long live the king. Yes, he's still the one that will be choosing the prime minister, this and that. But we don't have that system here. Our kings are no longer in charge. It's the president that the people, they say it's government of the people by the people, but actually it's government of the selected few by the selected few. And these selected few are doing it the way they want, to the advantage of their masters. Yes, there's post-imperialism now. The post-colonial era is, even though I think it's even the worst of, if I want to really be honest, because then it was like they were taking Africans as slaves. But right now, the type of slavery, it's not what I can talk about. So it's just from a heart of, how will I say it, a painful heart, looking at what has been done and what is being, and we can see that so many countries are already coming out, like is it Barbados or there, by saying, and Jamaica has even been having upheld a very long good relationship because of the queen. But nowadays, now they are trying to say, let us just be true with this barrier and let's call it spade a spade. And Africa too. But I was so surprised that Kenya could be manning, despite all that was done in Kenya. We cannot even go into
Okay,
that.
fine. Now let me just come in. Jim, you are welcome on board. Before I allow you to take your turn, let me just quickly state this, because my wife is just like putting every rant in her spirit down on this matter. Let me tell you, let me advise you, because you are talking about my clientele, and I should not just be sitting here looking at you. When you talk of Queen Elizabeth and the distortion of the Western influence on Africa, are you trying to say it is the queen that made you to lose your system of monarchical rulership, or a system of monarchy?
What is imperialism? I want to, yes.
Imperialism is a process of helping to rule others who decided not to rule themselves.
Is it not through the use of military rule?
Okay.
As in, who was
Coercion.
who was there then? I mean, these people, they just, I want to be so, let me
Okay.
just,
Okay, you know
I
what?
don't know
Just calm down. Now let Jim
Okay.
tell us what
No,
he feels
well,
about this.
let me just anything. I'm just going to say what I want to say. And by the way, thank you. I'm so honored to be here. I had a rough week. And folks, thank you for your prayers. Let me just ask a quick question. Do either of you take approach that any foreign policy from the British benefited African culture? Yes or no?
Take that question again, please.
Okay. During the Queen's reign, the subject, the topic is the Queen, correct? And we're
Yes.
talking monarchies, and we're talking about power. Now, do either of you think that any British foreign policy came forward that helped the African culture?
Okay, let me answer from my own perspective. She has her own perspective. We are free individuals.
Okay, this is
Now,
what I thought it was about. Okay.
yeah, from my own perspective, because I'm siding the queen now. To answer that question, the England or English came into Africa to help distort in a stylish way our system so that we can benefit them, so that we can also benefit sometime later. Did I answer your question? Okay,
Okay,
to be
yes, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
to be precise,
I'll take that as a yes. Now let me quickly hear
that,
Joe K side real quick. No, stop right there. Stop. No, Joe K, stop right there. Joe K, you need to respond to that.
Yes, to call a spade, they've done a lot of destruction to our economy, to
Okay.
Africa. Yes, that's just it. We know that.
So
we did not do disruption. We help to take your resources so that we can think on how you guys will benefit later. You will soon benefit after 70 years of rulership.
well, well, that would go back to education then. Did you take on education from the English? Did you understand that they had laws that they brought over from their country and applied them onto you? These are the questions. I think Joe K is saying more or less that their laws didn't add to look, if you look at what the modern world is at and what state a country is in, obviously Nigeria and in parts of Africa are way behind, way behind. So did that British dominance and rule Deo, I think you are correct, but in a sense that I didn't see of what is like you're saying there was supposed to be residual factors like a trickle down economy type of thinking from the British coming in there and maybe help squabbles or something. Is that what you kind of say? Because I think Joe K's argument is a little bit more strong at this point.
Okay, if that is what we need to talk about, I'm just trying to be sarcastic this night. Let me just put my
Oh,
foot to analyze this. The real facts, the real deal is the fact that the system in Africa was totally disrupted by the invasion of this set of people. We
okay.
call them Madam Know It All. Just hold on, Madam Know It All, because Africa, before the influx of these bodies that I don't want to call aliens because they are my what's it called,
Clientele.
my clientele. They are coming in here, disrupted our system of government. And look at it. You came in to disrupt our own system of government, whereas you are now maintaining your own system of government because Africa was ruled by
Monarchs.
monarchical system.
Yes.
And these monarchs are they are so well arranged that in little settlements you have lower chief, lower monarchs in charge of this that report to the higher monarch. And that is why this evening I'll be telling you a little bit about numerous empire that existed even before these so-called people will ever think of setting up a well-organized structure in their own land. But they came in here because they have the mindset that they want to use us. They want to use our place as the means of extracting raw materials so that they can benefit themselves.
Okay,
And
but did they take advantage?
please
Didn't they take it?
hold on.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Ojo's here. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on.
So that you will understand the angle I'm coming from. Now, when they are coming in here was not a symbiotic relationship. It was a parasitic relationship, and they are coming in with guns on one hand, and at the other hand they are coming in with what? With the Bible. You are giving our people the Bible to read, the Bible that you never read, you never obey, the Bible that you read to have knowledge, to just show our people that even when they are killing you, forgive. That is
So you two are close, but you both are very close on your argument. Then you're just saying there's just a small minutia part that you two are divided on.
when this time around. I'm not even, because I'm now angry. I'm angry based on the fact that
Support them now.
no, I'm not supporting again, because uh, actually this night I was supposed to be on the supporting side to just create the fun out of it. But let me tell you, if you look at this, the way African has been battered and chattered, I'm now looking at a queen that spent 70 years on the system of government that existed before their influx into Africa. She continued to enjoy that stable system of government in their place. She is the one that chooses the prime minister, and which she did till she left the district. Now you are coming in here to disrupt us totally and destabilize us. So, Jim, you telling me that we benefiting? That's why I had to switch. You telling me that we benefiting from education? What is education? Education is the what? Is the transfer of
Right.
culture, knowledge that leads to change in behavior, transformation of this thing. A lot of
advancement.
So if you are coming in here and all you are doing is you are taking
outdated technology.
Now let me tell you this, because I know Nubin, me and Dr. Ojo has something to say. Let me just bust your bubble. When Queen Elizabeth came into Africa, Nigeria specifically, there was a meeting that was held in Kaduna or Kano. I think the meeting was held in Kaduna. Now, that meeting, there was this particular king. He is not supposed to ever remove his cap in public. It's a taboo. What is education? Education is a transfer of knowledge from generation to generation, which leads to to their change in character. Everyone in Nigeria knows that the Ata of Igala can never and should never remove the cap from his head. Now,
Yeah,
because
but this is where you
hold
crossing. Yeah, but you're
hold
doing
on,
the
please.
religion. But
It's not
I'm sorry,
Jim,
but you're
Jim,
saying that you have a religion aspect to monarchy now.
it's
You're
not it's not a religion.
I know.
If Queen Elizabeth is a queen and she cannot bow down to anybody, then we have some king here that it is mandated they can never remove their crown to bow down to another person in our culture. So they came in here, disrupted our own. Now talking about this man, Ata Ame Oboni. This is the king, as at that period, the king of Igala. Is a sweet story. I'm still going to do a very comprehensive video about it to upload on this channel. This particular king, they had this meeting with Queen Elizabeth somewhere in the north. And now so many kings were there to have this meeting with her. And all the kings were asked to remove their crown and bow before another colleague. I want us to see. I want us to see that. I want us to see that it is not sensible to bow before my colleague, removing my crown. The King Atta said no, that he can never do that. He can never remove the crown in public because that is a taboo. They failed to honor this, and in the process, what happened? They forced that king to do what? That he must remove the crown. What happened, according to historical view, what happened was when he removed that crown, bees entered into that meeting and pounded on everybody. That was the end of the meeting. Now, immediately that was done. I want us to have the full gist of this story so that we are not disrupted. We know what we're talking about. Now, immediately that happened, bees sent everybody out of that meeting. The northern kings were there. Some Sosoliso kings from the west were also there. But this King Atta, was the one that stood his ground, and the Oba of Benin, and that's why till date, the Benin Empire, go and research it, Oba of Benin will remain to be relevant forever. The Oba of Benin was asked to go out because Atta and the Oba of Benin were in good relationship. Told the Oba of Benin to go out before he removed that cap. As the Oba of Benin left, he removed the cap, and they were stung by bee. That now
Yeah.
made them to say that they were now looking for loopholes on how to deal with this particular king. Do you know they arrested him, a king in our own land? They arrested him. They put him, what's it called? They handcuffed him, but because he also had some supernatural powers on him. As they were handcuffing him, the fetters fell off. They took him to the inner room, surrounded him in a cell like house arrest, only for them to discover that the king disappeared from their midst, and he was back in his hometown. But let me tell you, they did everything to do what? To remove that king using divide and rule system. So I just gave you that because there are still a whole lot. At the end of the day, the king preferred to commit suicide instead of him to bow down to the Queen of England. Now, if that be the case, I think we have the platform now. Dr. Ojo.
Hello, people.
You are welcome on board. Newbie.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
How you guys all doing?
You are welcome on board. Okay, we have Madam Olami here. She says colonialism does not benefit anyone
but the colonizer.
Okay.
It comes in nicely packaged, stealing ideas, human and material resources.
Right,
and
right.
so on.
Good.
And
So-
that's what that was kind of what my argument was. Is like, for some reason or another, we have to represent a monarchy from England as basing something to do with some form of Christianity, a religion. I mean, these are people that have a way back history of, Christianity. And so I was
May I
only
say something
commenting
real
to that
quick?
side.
May I say something real quick, Jim? Now that story
Okay.
that you guys, the story that you guys were talking about the king, that's super mystical. And yes, Jim, there is some religious aspect to that, because that kingdom and everything is in the book of Revelation. So everything we're living is the book of Revelation. Now, when you talked about that king, I had to think about Haile Selassie the First. That was the one king that knew how to handle these people. You know what I'm saying? Because that is our
Okay.
legitimate king. Hands down, Haile Selassie, His Imperial Majesty, connected to King David and King Solomon. That is Africa's king. That's where we missed it. But if we look at a lot of history, especially with Haile Selassie dealing with England and how England tried to do their little, I like to call it Western witchcraft, you know what I'm saying, where it's policy and education and all kinds of matters of trying to take over the mind and the psyche and the soul of the people. And at the end of the day, the queen, I'm not even going to call her that, Elizabeth, she has been connected to the Pope. She's been connected to the Anglican Church. She's been connected to the Prime Minister. And their job, they have been doing their role from the transatlantic, trans-Ethiopic slave trade. England has done her role. The death of the queen is, again, revelations, things that's happening in the system. And we're all such a beautiful part of it, because we are coming to the real Christ kingdom, the real African. And anyway, I'm going to stop, because England made a lot of people suffer. Asians, Indians, the world. It's not only Africa. Her imprint affected so many people here, even here on the States, that they had to dump her tea in the ocean. Okay, so give thanks for this reasoning, but it's also more than that. It's a mystical. It's us getting together and seeing the truth, the lies, the fiction, and she's being judged. If anybody feels like, oh no, this is what your life will testify. You know, your life will testify of what you've done and what your ancestors have done. And just like us, we have to clear out our ancestral demons, our ancestral whatever, then they have a very heavy, heavy, heavy burden. And I'm not going to be like, oh, poor queen. I'm not taking that burden. That's between her and God and history. And if we know our history, especially how
Great.
England has worked with other African monarchies, and thank goodness for Benin, and thank goodness for Ethiopia, and thank goodness for all the other monarchs in Africa that were really anointed by God. That
Okay.
when this devil come in, they were able to have strength and stand up to it.
Okay. Okay, Madam Claudia.
It's Madam Nubimi.
Madam Nubimi, we really appreciate you. Don't mind me. I was reading Madam Claudia's stuff. Madam Nubimi, we really appreciate your analysis there. But I want us to have something at the back of our mind. In today's discussion, we are looking at the Queen's death. We want to analyze the death. As we are analyzing the death, we want to see what happened in the past, how our system of rulership was taken away from us. Now what we have is foreign, alien to us. They call it demon in craziness, democracy. But the funniest of it is that, Dr. Ojo, I want you to answer this question. They are selling a drug that they are not using to us. England is still practicing monarchical system of government, whereas they are championing the lead against African president that refused to leave after 4 years. How inconsistent is that?
Inconsistently consistent.
So, good evening, everybody, and it's very exciting to see you guys again.
Thank you so very much.
Jim Barak, good to see you, wonderful people. Yeah, so it's a very interesting topic. It's a very interesting debate. I'm not sure if one meeting like this we justify or will be sufficient for what everybody has in mind, or to pour out our minds and stuff like that. It's very good to have debate and discussion like this, and to be very, 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 very open-minded, and to speak true to our conscience. I think it's good. So your question, if I want to address your question, my perspective sometimes might not be in alignment with a lot of people for a lot of reasons.
Okay.
But that's just me anyway. So when you talk about the monarchy in the United Kingdom, the British monarchy, fighting African monarchy, or those in power in Africa that refuses to leave office after a certain period. So the question to ask is, we can be precise and mention names or the country, but my question would be, first, what kind of system are those people practicing? Are they practicing monarchy, or are they practicing democracy? That's one, right? Then two, what is the relationship or the affiliation between those countries you are mentioning or you are referring to and the monarchy system in British? Because the truth is that there should be no individual or no system that should have domination or power to stop other people if you have not entered into certain agreements in the past. So there are a lot of things that we might not know, or that might not be open to us. But based on what we heard, or what we know, or what we see, then we try to pick up an argument against or for, right? So if the system is practicing democracy and they do not want to leave office, then you cannot really say why are they trying to invade, or why are they trying to stop them from continuing their office, because that's not what they are practicing. They are not practicing monarchy, right? So it depends on what you are saying. So you have to be clear a little bit more about that. Maybe I should
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because one of the phrases is in English songs are "All hail the Queen," and what does the Queen entail? The Queen, she's bringing her monarchy, but with the religion attached to it. If I'm just trying to be basic on this, because what I'm trying to get at is if you have what they call these people that come from foreign land and they want to start spreading gospel truth, well, did African people take that part of it as an acceptance to them and say, hey, this is workable, we can work with that? And that was their entry into, how to spread democracy to you. That's my question.
No.
I have a question for
No,
Dr.
Jim, was that a question or a statement you just made?
A question, because I'm asking Dr. Ocho, did the
Okay.
did the monarchy represent also religion? And through religion, that's how they developed a foreign policy. In other words, hey folks, this religion you already like. In other words, were they attracted to it? How did they get their foothold at the very beginning? That's the part I just don't get.
So one, my view about religion is a little bit different, right? For me, I'm not in agreement that they represent religion.
Good.
I'm not in agreement with that.
Okay, me too. Okay,
So they represent themselves and their kingdom. That's what I know is the
Very
truth.
correct.
That's
You're
what I
correct.
believe is the truth, right?
Okay. Okay.
And it is typical of every kingdom and any kingdom, right? So and my justification for that is that if we talk about religion, a true religion, right, it practices a similar kind of monarchy system, but in a different way.
Okay.
All right, because this whole thing that we're talking about, right, if for those that believe in God or those that believe in what I believe in, right, I believe in God, right, everything still relate back to God, because either the monarchy system or other form of system that are set up is still a reflection of the system that God set up from the very beginning, right? Those that believe in God believe that there is God, right? And some people believe that there is a 3-in-1 God, right? And some people believe that, okay, in heaven there is God the Father that supersedes and oversees everything, and is on that throne ever since, and is there and is continuing to be there. And then he has the next in command, which is like his son, that is probably going to inherit the throne after him, or they are going to be together, right? So that's kind of the system that is set up here on earth, because we don't have anything of our own except what we see or what we're inspired to see, right? Which the only reflection anybody can have from the very beginning up to now is based on where you have been or where you're coming from or what is passed down to you. So
Okay.
the monarchy system that first set up is a reflection of the system that God actually created that was exposed to them. Now, the thing is that human being, based on our own level of creativity or whatever experiences, challenges, and all that we have gone through in life, right? We tend to do things certain way. We deviate, we hard, subtract, and do all kind of stuff to suit our own need, right? So that's kind of what is happening, right? That's why it's not exactly a perfect reflection of what is original one that they were trying to copy,
Okay.
because they put their own personal interest into it. So they
Okay.
do not, I think and I believe that they do not represent the religion, but they represent their kingdom and themselves.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Joe. With that being said, let's quickly see if Claudia's network is okay right now. Madam Claudia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Setro. How are you
Okay.
doing?
So,
Greetings to everyone. How is
okay.
everyone doing?
Fine.
Fine,
Thank you.
thank
I'm not getting a very clear connection, but are you able to
We
hear
are
me?
hearing you perfectly well. So the first question I'm throwing at you is this: do you think the invasion of the privacy of our system of government by the British or by the West is a disruption from where we are supposed to be,
Oh, it's an advantage.
or is an advantage?
You're kind of scratchy. Can you repeat that, please? I would have to adjust my speaker. I was having a
Okay.
bit of problem hearing you clearly.
O-
Repeat that,
Okay.
please.
Do you think that the influx of the Westerners, the Western system of rulership, the extension of the Western monarchical system over African already existing monarchical system is a blessing or a problem for Africa?
See, definitely a problem. Definitely. Mr. Setchell, the legacy of the
Okay.
British monarch has been to plunder, kill, steal, and destroy. They do not have a good history. And I am hoping that King Charles the Third abide and do what he's supposed to do and take up the mantle for his mother, because what happened when slavery was abolished in the Western world, his I think it's his great queen, Queen Victoria, I think would be his great grandmother. Let me see, Queen Victoria first, second. I think his great grandmother. She laid down 20 pound million sterling to send back the slaves to Africa. She gave it to the slave master, and they stole the money. And up to this day, we are still in poverty. Look at what's happening in Africa. They plunder for centuries the gold, the diamond, the natural resources. All I want King Charles to return all the natural resources, especially to the children in Africa, so Africa could rebuild itself, be a better place, you know. Okay, you could see what's taking place on the continent is because of the centuries of plundering or stealing, killing
Yeah,
to our ancestors.
and still today, there's a diamond company called De Beers, and De Beers says that diamonds are a scarcity item. This is by far and not true at all. They control scarcity. They take the elements, and not only that, but they create scarcity once they control the elements, and they don't even live there. This is where they exploit all the labor in every aspect. I would rant forever on that. But anyway, I'll shut up.
So
Okay.
I want to say something really quick.
Okay.
I want to say
Okay.
something really quick. So um one, I want Africans to take responsibility for their mistakes. Is very, very important, because that's the way, when you take responsibility, that's when you start thinking of what did I do wrong and how do I avoid doing the same thing, repeating the same thing going forward. So Africa need to take responsibility, because it's two-way traffic. It's two-way traffic. They came, right? We allowed them, right? So whatever it is that they sell to us, we buy into it. We have to take responsibility for that. That's one. Two, colonization is a very bad idea. Just like slavery is a bad idea, and all those kind of things are really, 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 really very, very wrong thing to do. It's highly unexpected of any human being to do such to a fellow human being. So they also, the monarchy system and all those that are involved in colonization, need to also take responsibility for that. And by taking responsibility, all they need to be doing is, what did they do wrong? How can they recommend? How can they reconcile? How can they correct those wrongdoing? right? It's definitely going to take a long time. So it's definitely not going to be just a sorry, even though they need to say it verbally, and they also need to say it in action for as long as it's going to take them, right? So it's a two-way, right? Now, but the problem where people are getting it wrong, where we are all getting it wrong is this. Remember, I told you that whatever we do is a reflection of what we see, or what we are exposed to, or what we are told, or whatever, right? Now, if I go back to several centuries, right? Several centuries, right? Let me start with this, right? The oldest monarchy system is not even the British, you know that, right?
So,
It's not
yes.
the British. It's the
Yes.
Japanese. The Japanese monarchy is even older than the British monarchy, right? The Japanese monarchy is dated back to 660 years in the 600s, right? Whereas the British one started in the 800s by Anglo-Saxon, right? That's in the spirit. And the British just happen to have so many monarchies so far. They have about 61 monarchies so far, right? And Victoria, that Madame Claudia was talking about, that's the mother of Elizabeth II, right? So,
Dr. Ojo,
But Ojo, please, sir.
a minute. You said that empire started when?
when, sir?
so the Japanese, right? They are imperial. The Imperial House of Japan is considered to be the oldest form of monarchy globally, and it was founded in 660.
660.
Yes.
Okay, because
And
the
I've had about 125 monarchies.
Okay,
Now
because
that of
British Empire.
the British own started, its origin is dated back to Anglo-Saxon period, which was between 800 and 1066.
1066.
Yes.
And an interesting point an interesting point about 1066 is that the oldest known college is Oxford, which was started in 1052, meaning that, like, if you got control of the book system, the educational system prior to all of this stuff, you were in control of writing history also. Dr. Ojo, real quickly, I thought that the Chinese culture had been invaded by the opium trade. I think the English perfected how to infiltrate the Chinese culture. Can you explain or elaborate a little bit on that?
So, yeah, I can go back to that, but let me. I want to kind of make the point I'm trying to make first and foremost. So now, if we look at the way the entire world system has been working, has been operating, right, from the very, very beginning, it's always been one person overthrowing or overtaking or taking over the government at a particular period or the other. And when that happened, they try to subject all other people under them, right? Try to fight, kill them. If they don't surrender, you kill them. It happened. We have a lot of history in the Bible too. Now, an example is David. How many wars did David fought? The David in the Bible that we've read about, right? He fought so much war. He was empowered by God, according to the Bible story that we believe to be true, right? To fight all those fights. And we were told and we read that he was instructed by God to invade a lot of countries, a lot of lands. And if they don't submit or they don't accept him or they don't allow him, is to kill and destroy them. And he did a lot of that, right? So now, how do we explain that? Does that not explain the reason why the war in Israel between the Jew and the Palestinian and the Pakistan, the Palestinian, all those people, is that not the reason why they still fight even till tomorrow? Because of centuries of war that have started that we have account of, that even God supported and back it up, right? But we are all human beings. They tell story, we tell story to our kids and those that follow us, and they just go carry on that bitterness and stuff like that, right? So it's a very deep topic. That's what I'm trying to establish, right? And the monarchy system that we are talking about, the royal monarchy system in the United Kingdom, there's nothing they can look onto other than what has happened in the past. So they established their own sovereignty between that period of 800 and whatever they could see before them is what they just followed. To subject every other person, to go all over the place and invade, and just because they just want to empower themselves and be in charge and be in control, which is the same thing that is happening today, even with democracy, right?
Okay.
So that's the system. That has been the system that has been in place for this long period of time. So why I'm pointing us in this direction is because I do not want us to argue blindly and just point fingers in one direction without looking at the whole subject, the whole content, and the whole context of the whole thing, right?
Okay.
Now, my own conclusion has been that other than God, who is greater and superior than us all, that knows everything and has reasons and motive that we cannot question, or even if we question, we can't do anything about it, other than him empowering a particular form of government, either monarchy or democracy or whatever, to do certain things that they can get away with. Other than that, any other system, right, that has to do things that have to subject other human beings to such hardship, hardship as what was experienced in the colonization period, slavery that was experienced in the past, should be held accountable, and they should do justice by, resolving that issue, correcting that error or whatever it is. They should correct it. But we cannot also but let Africans know that they have part to play in all of this, and they also need to hold themselves accountable as well. Because even when we talk about that period of colonization, the period of all those periods, right, there are Africans leaders that are involved in it, that benefited from it.
Right. And that's I mean, go ahead, but
which
seriously,
which empower the invaders, which empower the monarchy system, which encourage them, which
makes me question but that's what makes me question about the religion itself coming in. It's basically a white Christian race. I that's the part where I just don't get yet. I haven't connected this point yet. I understand that people believe in the Bible and take that very seriously. I don't understand where I just don't get that part where, like, the Bible's considered white. Isn't the Bible considered a white thing in America, at least in America, but in Africa, maybe it's considered, like, I've heard of these things, people here in America called the Black Israelites. They take the Bible very seriously, and they take the approach that what they call hermetics, meaning that the way you dictate the Bible is done through two lenses, one being your lens and the other people have a different lens. Is that what you're kind of saying?
So when you talk about even the Bible, that's another even deep topic, right? Because even the Bible has been diluted by a lot of people over the years. A lot have added to it, a lot have subtracted to it, a lot just pick one particular part that suits their purpose or suit a particular subject or particular interest and abandon the rest of it. You see what I'm saying? So, but if we go back to the very beginning, even when you talk about the Bible, right, there are ways that things are done. Even the God that we say created the universe and everything, right? There is a way He put everything in place till today, right? That are still functioning, right? Without human interference. But we are not following that. We are not doing that. Human being, for whatever reason, because of what we have gone through, because of what we are told, we've deviated from the original system
Okay.
that was
Okay.
created.
Okay, Dr. Ojo, let me step in here. Um, the conclusion of the matter is this fact that human being most of the time are created as selfish being. Even the commerce that we have today is based on the selfish reason of profiteering, that so much is being invested for production. So if you allow human being to the extreme, they can take any good thing and use it to their utmost selfish interest. Now, we're talking about the Bible and the influx of some, I will call them, let's just, for use of simple word, let's call them aliens, moving into other people's territory instead of having a symbiotic relationship in which there is a mutual understanding that will benefit both parties. Immediately the mindset of domination comes in. Then you begin to see this. Let's look at what I want you to see. England, United Kingdom has 243,610 kilometers. Hello, when you are talking of land mass,
I hear
the,
you. Go ahead. Yeah,
the
listening.
land mass of UK is just 243,610 kilometers. How can someone from that same region be controlling 6.6 billion hectares, as in not even control now, she is the owner,
It's
she's
in her name.
the owner of 6.6 billion hectares of land,
Well,
and she cannot
that's
please let me learn, I want to say, Dr. Jim, she cannot be sued, she cannot be called to questioning by nobody. So many
She's
privileges
the only
are
one that
there.
can declare war
And
against another
yes,
nation.
I love you for that. She's the only one that can declare war against another nation. And there was a war in my own country here under her jurisdiction. This is a very lovable queen. In short, she smiles all the time. In short, we can be carried away with the smile. But under her watch, there was a war within the country that they came to what? To merge together and to bring three major tribes that are totally different, bringing them together, that you must coexist by force, so that
And a puppet must rule
and
you.
and
And
a yoga.
And right now, where I'm going to say is that system of democracy they brought. It's not really, they say it's the government of the people by the people. No, just like in the last election in Nigeria, let's say a single party, the people actually wanted a candidate, but the selection was based on it's only a few people that will choose the person that will stand for the party. I don't want to be I
So
don't want to go
direct.
into party
Yes.
politics because I'm not meant for that. So all the country were looking up to one particular person from a party, like he's going to be somebody that will help out. But in the end, that party, when they wanted people to vote for the person that will contest, they did not cast the vote outside. It's selection, it's in-house selection they would do, and that
yeah, the electoral college. Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
brought this upon us. But right now, it is the queen that still selected the ruling prime minister now. But right here, they will say it's the people. But it's the selected people they've gotten. It's the people that can pay homage to them, people that can give them the control over us. We know when the Benin Empire was still there, they had natural resources, palm oil, rubber, they were good in trade. But when the British annexed them is in 1897 or thereabout, if I'm not mistaken, they took over all these things so that they now want it's the central post, the president that they can control, that should be controlling all those empires, Benin Empire, Ife, Ile-Ife, and all these other empires. They want it that it is just like we have in Nigeria now, like a place in Niger Delta, they have real as in resources there. They have petroleum resources, but they don't really benefit from it because it's from the central
Right.
coast that,
Right.
that they are being controlled. And these people that are at the center, they have people they pay homage to.
Right.
They have people
And,
that are
and how do they
controlling.
get the rights, Dr. Ojo? How do they get the rights to these
Yeah,
properties?
so
That's what I want to know.
that's what we need to get straight, right?
Okay.
So sometimes when we're asking for stuff, we need to know what we're asking for, and we need to be very careful, right? The problem of Africa might not have been caused by Africans, but was encouraged and promoted by Africans.
Okay.
We cannot.
Well, that was very deep. Okay, that was very deep. I'm gonna. That is very deep.
Dr. Ojo, please. I just want to coordinate this stuff. Immediately you said this, I have the question for you. During one of my research that I went to where, this one is not story, I went to where it was really happening, where they were exporting slaves out of the country. Do you know what? When I was crying and I was telling them that why did you people allow this?
They told us something.
They told me something.
Hmm.
Right there, the elderly people there told me something. They said, what do you think they would have done? That they came in by coercion. If you do not submit,
they will
kill you, kill your family.
Yes.
If you do not submit, they will kill you, carry your family as slave right in your presence. So that was why so many of these so-called African slave merchants were forced under what? Gun. Now, let me quickly state this. I just made mention of the fact that Britain had just 243,610 kilometers area of land. Now they are controlling these large numbers of people that are more than them. How? While every other person was trying to develop themselves in their own system of education, that means some persons were busy building weapons of coercion. They came into all these places that we are talking about now. They came in with gunpowder. They came in with what's it called? Guns and ammunitions to
Guns, germs, and steel.
So what are we saying? It's only people that can face death, like this king I just mentioned. You know, some people are noble. It's only people like this Ata Ama, the Gala king, that will say, no, I would rather die with this cause than for me to bow. And we have them few, just few. So, sir, what do you think they would have done?
So, yeah, so what they did is inhuman, is wrong. They need to resolve and correct that. No doubt about that, like I have said. But still, I still know that I'm an African.
Okay.
I'm in Nigeria. I know that part of our people are part of that system.
No doubt.
Now, if they are using the force, if they are using those force and they are getting away with this, it's because there are some people that are supported them, that encourage them to do. Because I know from my own particular village alone, from my own town alone, how powerful they are. Yes. Do you know that the Alaafin of Oyo has a very strong connection with the Queen and has a letter from Her Majesty that allow the royal family from that place to go to Britain without no visa? Is like a diplomatic whatever that nobody knew until when few people know, maybe the close family, we did not know until when he died, and he just monopolized those for himself and got a lot of benefit to himself and to his royal family only, and a lot of such that's supposed to be beneficial to the entire city and the entire state that we don't even know about, right? And there are a lot of people who do like that. And now, people like that, Allah, for you, is so powerful. He's so spiritually powerful that it's not like they said, I live in Oyo, I live, it's palace to where we live, where I live when I was there, it's just like 10 minutes walk.
You are true.
Now, he's so strong and so powerful that they call him Death. They call him Death. That's his name. They call him Death. That's his name. That's not his real name, but that's his nickname that they gave him till now. Yeah. It's part of his name now. They call him Death because even in those days when he was young, when he's traveling to the UK and all the parts of the world, he does. They said I have not proved that. I haven't seen any documentation of that, but they said that he does drugs, and when immigration, before they discover all those methods that they use, they put drugs in human being, like in somebody's stomach and stuff like that. And then when they start discovering that, when they start detecting that with some technology, right? That when he says something, when they capture such person, all he just said is that, oh, that person is nonatic. It's not a human being. It's not fine. It's mental. Immediately he says things like that, the person turn mental immediately. That's how powerful it is. So he doesn't, you barely see him talk. He barely talks. He's so powerful, spiritually powerful, that if he said, right as he's looking at you like this, and said, you are nonetic, you are mad, you will start, your brain will turn, and they will take you to psychiatric immediately. That's how powerful it is. So now, that's just one. That's just one. We have a lot of them like that in Africa. Now, tell me, and they are also from royal family, right? They have their own monarchy system, right? And they've existed for centuries, as old as all these monarchy systems that we're talking about, right? Now, where are they when all these were happening?
Oh, they're not there. Oh, no, they're not there. No. They're planning their next attack. Yeah.
Dr.
So with all this, their power that they have, right? They could use those power to defend their people, to protect their people. But some of them, because of their greediness, they allow some things.
Okay. Dr. Joe, now, I want to ask Jim 2 questions. Number 1, Jim, do you think the Queen of England is not powerful?
Well, there's a phrase that says
before you answer.
Oh, okay. Can I answer one question at a time, or do I need to? Okay, I'll wait.
Your
yes,
second
go ahead.
Your second question is this: is there do you envisage any plan to return some of the golden stones that are on the crown back to where it belongs?
Let's put it this way: if you can get your government to stop squabbling and dictate its own economy and create its own currency, yes, you'll get your golden stones back. And on to the question of the Queen, let's just remember, this was an empire that learned how to conquer. They've conquered China, the oldest dynasty ever. They did it through infiltration of drugs. These people know how to make profit, and they know how to pay other people to make controversy without being noticed. The English also have what they call the world. It's the city of London. Basically, you can be excluded from a lot of laws as you create financial, derivatives in a market, and you can control these markets. And basically, those markets come back down to what the Queen says to do. And the king is now in charge. And just want to put this up there real quick. King Charles is the one who put out a tweet. One of the very first people that said, "We need a new world order." So if the monarchy is sitting back around and just being hush hush about everything, I don't think they've lost any power whatsoever, at all. In fact, I think they have more power than ever. Just the fact that they've laid off the visual aspects, because they have a country that bows down to with a very small square kilometer. How do they actually, if you didn't have that monarchy in the past, with a huge, and by the way, they have a bloodline thing where they actually believe in that they have a right to be in power. So that part we could discuss later. But Dr. Ajono, knows about also the Swiss bank, the International Settlement of Funds. And I think that would be a very interesting topic to touch at a little later time.
Okay, we'll look at that. But Dr. Ojo,
Yes, sir.
it seems Jim did not get part of the question very well.
What
When
part?
is Dr. Ojo now, do you think the Queen of England is very powerful? While Dr. Ojo is trying to answer that question, Jim.
Of course, I said the Queen's powerful. What do you mean? She comes through a royal bloodline.
Okay.
How does that? Yeah, I mean, they've been in power forever. I mean, I'm sorry if I made a mistake on that.
Okay. Now, Jim, I want you to research the particular number of times that they tried to carry out assassination attempt on the Queen. There will be in those assassination attempts, there is this either the fourth or the fifth one that will amaze you. I want you to do that as your own personal research and tell me, because when I mean powerful, Dr. Ojo, you should understand me when I mean that kind of powerful from Africa. Because if you are looking at the African kings and you think they have supernatural powers and the likes, I tell you that so many of these people that are ruling the world, they are not just ordinary men also.
So yeah, like I said, the Queen has relationship, has contact with His Royal Highness Ikú Baba Yeye Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́. I'm telling you, this man, up to when he was 80 years old, he died when? 85 years or what? 4 years before he died, he just married another young girl of 20-something years.
Yes.
And until when he died, before some of us know what is happening. Once he married them, they don't even know. But because he has that connection with the kingdom, so he takes them there, and a lot of his wives and his descendants are all there in the United Kingdom because they have that rite of passage. So if you say the Queen is powerful, yes, the Queen is powerful. Not just power of his Royal Majesty, spiritually strong, because she has connection with a lot of these powerful people from the earth, especially those from Africa that are spiritually strong. She has that connection, and let's be mindful, she took over the throne when she was very young and very charming and very beautiful, and that helped. That explained also why she lasted that long. She was the longest reigning monarch in that kingdom. That explained a lot of things to you, right? And then look at what happened. The king, His Royal Highness Ikú Baba Yeye, he died last year.
Yeah, and if you look at the Queen's, the Queen had her first husband, or King Charles. Who was the Queen's husband again? He recently passed not too long ago. Can we just real quickly? I know this is a great on the monarchy thing. Can we talk about the princess, and how like what they use? They have prince, they have lords. Can you just give me a background real quick about like Adeo, if you know about that? Because I don't know about that stuff too much. Are you
sure that you not be taking us out of the
topic? Okay, skip it then. No, skip it. All I wanted is one question. I'm trying to get to Dr. Ojo to talk about the infiltration of China back a long time ago. The British brought in the opium trade, and I don't know, I haven't gotten an answer from you on this one. I just want to know, do you understand that would be the blueprint? If you could conquer a large country like that with a huge history, you would have that as a blueprint to go to anywhere now with that. That's my point.
Yeah, so the British are very powerful. Let's not get right. The America, with our strong democracy, we cannot do anything without the permission of the Queen. Without approval. I'm telling
Okay.
you, that's how powerful they are. We
May I
cannot
say
do
something?
anything. We can't do anything without notifying them. Of course, we can say, okay, they cannot do anything without letting us know too. But yeah, they've done a lot of stuff without letting anybody.
Okay. Nubi, me, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. I was having problems. It was so many great points that you brought out, both Dr. Ojo and Jim. But Dr. Ojo, you said something very important. They gave themselves their own sovereignty, right? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Very well.
Okay. But like His Majesty Haile Selassie I said, the greater kingdom is Christ's kingdom. And what we are looking for as people who believe in God is good leadership. And like you said earlier, Dr. Ojo, God, the creator, is in charge of putting governments when he put them, where he put them, and also end them when he ends them. I want us to remember that, yes, Africa is a very important kingdom, that we, Ethiopian, the ancient Kushite Empire, that's Ethiopia, that's Africa, you know, this landmass that we're from, we have that historical connection with the Bible. Jesus was in Egypt. Jesus was in Israel. Ethiopia, Moses had an Ethiopian wife. We have to understand that the premise of Judeo-Christianity started, created, grew in Africa. Now, what the West has done along, especially from the Roman times, you know, we have gone, our people have gone through a lot of colonization in different times and eras. Okay, now we're like in 2000. We're in this 2000 era. So we got to know history. But the British, I would like to say it was a identity theft. They made themselves, knowing the history. I think Jim mentioned it. Those who control the books, who go and steal and plunder, they can rewrite the books. Anybody can rewrite history, but there's history and there's his story. And our story is embedded in the Bible. Our story is all over the Bible. Our ancestors have been all over the Bible. Abraham. And as long as we as Africans can remember that and understand that even the slave Atlantic trade, the Atlantic Ethiopic slave trade, remember it was called the Atlantic Ethiopic slave trade. It's again, they've put their little systems in to rewrite history, to change our minds, like I said, called Western witchcraft, hypnotize us and drug us, pharmakia. Now, I don't have no problem with the West and England, but we have to understand where they were at when this happened. They were dealing with the Black Plague. I mean, their society was almost done and gone and finished.
Okay, you started to break up. You're starting to break up.
Yeah.
You're starting to break up a little
Okay.
bit. Go back to where. No, I just go back to where you were. If you're
Okay.
moving, that's what
I
caused
said,
it.
yeah, we have to understand England and Europe was about to die completely.
Whoa, we can't hear
The Black
you.
Plague. Oh, okay. I'll call back.
Hello?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
Madam
I'm
Claudia.
getting a bad, I guess it's the weather. I'm getting a bad connection still, but you just
Okay.
asked Dr. Ojo if he thinks the Queen
Wow.
has power.
There's been some little bit of touch of
Hello,
weather.
can you hear me?
Yes,
go
we
ahead.
can hear you.
issue
Yes, we
in
can
the
hear you.
Caribbean. I
Yes,
think
we can
somebody
hear you.
Ask
mentioned.
Dr. Ojo
Yeah.
and Jim.
Okay, we have someone here.
No, Claudia
yes.
is speaking.
Umajale.
Yeah, Amujale.
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 Okay.
From which tribe, sir?
Yoruba. Amujale.
Okay.
Somebody that makes conflict hard or difficult.
That pour fire that pour more petrol in the fire.
Okay.
Exactly.
Let me announce to everybody before Amujale start talking. Please, everybody put on your helmet, because by his name, by his African name, is going to make a fight become more turbulent. So you have the floor. Nice to have you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. Right. I was listening to this sister talking about Christianity being an African culture or something like that. That's far from the truth. There's no such thing as Christianity is actually a foreign ideology. So that I just want to put that out there. Christianity is a foreign ideology, just like all the other foreign ideologies. African culture isn't anything to do with Christianity. African culture is science, it's art, architecture, engineering, fishing. That's African culture, not Christianity or Islam.
So
Oh,
what
love
I
it.
think she was trying to say is this. I think I understand where she's coming from. What I think she was trying to say is that when you trace those Bible, a lot of those Bible stories and history, it had a strong connection
with
with
Africa.
Africa.
No, not
Because
at all.
listen, hold on 1 second.
Right,
Because if
right,
we, for those that have read the Bible,
right.
right, we know that when Jesus was born, because most Christian believe about the story of Jesus, right? When Jesus was born and King Herod was killing all the babies because he felt there is a rivalry, there is a threat, and he was trying to hand that child before he even grow, which is
Right.
the same thing that happens to
It's
tomorrow. It was his place of refuge was Egypt. Egypt is Africa.
Okay, before he jumps
Now,
in,
Dr. Joe. Okay, go. All
Hello,
right, go on.
hold on,
hello,
before
hold
he
on.
jumps in, but wait, before
Hello,
anybody else,
hello.
before
I
any,
don't want us to be
wait.
Jim.
No, listen.
A
There's
little bit.
also many stories of the Bible being written and in history, and there's exact same stories of other people. So what the gentleman is saying,
Exactly.
this gentleman has a very legitimate point.
Okay,
That's
let me
right.
I know
That's
what
right.
he's saying.
Do-
I know what he's saying. I know what he's saying.
Doctor,
But
Doctor,
I was shedding light on the other lady's opinion because I understand where the other lady. I understand where everybody's coming from. I understand.
Okay. Hello, I'm the one muting everyone now. I'm the one muting everyone now. I want I want this discussion because we are going to learn from each other. So if every one of us are just putting out the ideas there, at the end of the day, we are not going to benefit. So I want you to just follow my lead. If you have any discussion, if you have any point you want to make, allow the person that is talking to be true so that we get to learn because this is a learning platform. The information some of you are bringing out, some of us don't have access to it. The information I am bringing out, you might not have access to it. So at the end of the day, it makes us a better person. So thank you so very much. I'm going to unmute now. So I want us to follow that principle.
right.
Okay.
All right. So that's what the lady is trying to refer to. Even when Joseph, according to Bible story, when Joseph was sold by his brother, they sold him to the Egyptian. And when the civilization that extended up to today's civilization, which is referred to as the civilization of Egypt,
No, no.
is not the first. It's not the first civilization, but
Doc,
it's
Dr.
significant.
Joe, what I'm saying is that is all fake. That is all trash. It's nonsense.
I understand you.
It's
Let me
all
land.
rubbish.
Let me
I mean,
land.
I'm not what you're saying. I mean, that narrative is rubbish. It's nonsense. It's fake.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
let me make my point. Let me
Amujale.
make my point. I'm not done yet.
Amujale. Dr. Joe, please hold on. Amujale,
Right.
Okay, everyone.
you allow him to be true,
Yes.
then you have the floor.
Let Claudia jump in.
So that when you are talking, we also allow you to be true. Another person will come in. That's how we learn.
It makes sense.
Dr. Joe, kindly round up.
All right. So now when that civilization started, when the Joseph and he brought his family and they start growing and they start extended in Egypt and they helped with the development of Egypt. That's how that civilization started and grew, right? That was not the first civilization, don't get me wrong, but that was the one that gave birth to a lot of things that led to where we are right now, right? Now, what the lady was saying is that there's a strong connection with the Bible story and history with Africa.
No,
That's
no,
what
there
the lady
isn't.
was saying. Now,
Yes,
she's
it
wrong.
is. Yes, mister.
No,
Excuse me, Dr. Ojo. I don't want to cut you off. But if the gentleman, if you read Deuteronomy 28, there's no one on earth that fulfilled the prophecy but the black nation, which is the slaves. You need to read it carefully.
that's nonsense.
So the Bible
African
really
people are
speak
not
about
slaves.
African
They're
in
not. No,
Africa
they're
as
not.
well as
Not
in
at
the
all.
Western world. Is
Not
it
at all.
there?
No.
Okay,
My Bible.
now listen.
Bible, I'm showing Deuteronomy
Please, I'm
28.
coming in now. No be me, everybody listen. Amujale,
Huh?
I want to have a one-on-one with you now. You answer the following question so that we can learn from you as well. What religion do you practice?
None.
None. So I take
Yeah.
you as one of my friends in the band. He's a free thinker. Are you with me? Are you a free thinker?
Well, I'm an African.
You're okay, good. Now, I have a friend who happens to be a free thinker.
Right.
And the best thing that makes me love him more, I have so many friends that are not even Christians, so many of my friends, Muslims. I even have an Indian friend that believes in Hare Krishna and the likes.
Right.
Now, the greatest challenge we Africans have is that we tend to build structure based on what we fall in love with. You're falling
Right.
in love with the Africanism in you. The person
No,
talking to you,
no. I'm a historian. That's my job. I'm a historian.
yes.
I
Now,
studied
but,
history.
good. I want you to add this to your archive. Always learn this first principle of life is the fact that look at everybody's opinion as valid from their side. Now,
Right.
when you have the floor, you talk about your own analysis. You run your analysis. It is your analysis that will make me to
Yeah.
see, oh, chronologically speaking.
Okay. Well, let
Right.
me interject
Right.
then. Okay, let me
Wait,
interject.
one
Okay, go
second.
ahead.
Let me give my rebuttal to Dr. Ojo. What it is that he's saying that, first of all, like I said initially, those texts have nothing to do with the African whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever. What we did find, however, is that there's been plagiarism, there's been copying and stuff like that from different sectors of our culture, but it's not necessarily us. It's just like, for instance, if you take my autobiography and then you rewrite it in a different way, and then now you're saying that that's me. That's not me. It can't be, because you've written it. First of all, it's incorrect. Secondly, there's no footnote that's saying that, oh, this was you got this from me. There's no sources. There's no citation. So so it's not. That is, like I said, what it is. It's just garbage. That's what it is. It's somebody. Right, go on.
My
Okay,
question to you is this. My question, if I can ask you a question, my question is this. I understand what you're saying, right? But my question is this. Are you saying that the fact that Jesus was taken to Egypt as a place of rescue, are you saying that's not correct?
I'm saying the whole story is fake. It's a farce.
So
it's a
it's not
facade.
correct.
Yes, it's a whole facade. Basically, this was something that was created by ideologues. It's people, those people like you and me that sat down, wrote down the book, and then start. Basically, these things are tools of conquerors. That's what it is. That's what they are.
Yeah, what
They're
is
only
what is
tools of
religion?
conquerors.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
What
another
is
question.
religion? What
I
is
have
That's
another
all they
religion?
are. So basically, these are tools that they wish to conquer us, and then now we're taking as for face value as if it's original when it's not.
Another question. Can I ask you
Like,
another question?
go on.
My question is, do you believe or do you think it is not correct that slavery took place in Africa and a lot of Africans were taken as slave to the West?
That is, it's like one of the worst atrocities in human history.
So do you believe that took place and that's correct?
It is one of the worst. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Colonization and enslavement is one of the worst atrocities in human history.
So why
That
you
answers
part
your
of that?
question.
Why you there when that happened?
No, but he's saying the snake in the grass is religion.
Hold on. Why you there when that happened?
I don't necessarily have to be there. Why should
Why
I know about I'm a historian. That's my job.
I'm coming. I'm making a point. I'm pointing in one direction. I'm trying to shine light on something. So if you were not there, you are a historian. You believe that. So what
I don't believe that. I know that.
Okay, you know.
I don't deal in belief. I believe in know. I like to know. I don't like to believe. I like to know things.
Okay, you know that, right? Because you are historian, right? So now, on what basis are you now saying that the story and the history that Jesus, when he was born as a little kid, was taken to Egypt for rescue?
The whole story is incorrect. Because what I would like you to do is that if you can, you and I could have a debate, and then prove to me that what I'm saying is incorrect. If you can do that.
But you couldn't
prove to me. Okay, prove to me that.
I'll moderate that one. By the way,
I'm a historian, and I can tell you 1,000%, 1,000% that it is incorrect. That is all a farce.
Yeah, but
at this point,
I can say it was plagiarized.
And another thing is this. Another thing. What really come to jump onto your discussion, onto the panel today is basically for what the sister was saying, because what it is that you see Ethiopia is synonymous to Africa, right? Used to be, as in the olden days, the Greeks, the Romans, they called Africans Ethiopian, or they called them Nubians, right? So, but the country Ethiopia is not Ethiopia. The country had a different name in the past. So you're trying to convolute history, or trying to, it's called wuru wuru to the answer. That's what we call it, wuru wuru to the answer, where you don't know, you just mix stuff together.
No,
and then
it could be called Kushite.
It's a compass.
Different name.
No, Ethiopia is as the Azum Empire. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. AXUM. Yes?
Aksum.
That's what it was.
Aksum.
Yes. So it's not. Listen.
So this is
but you see, you're changing. You see. Listen. What I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to take the name Ethiopia, which meant all of Africa, and trying to superimpose it onto yourself, which is incorrect.
No.
We know that. We know Azum is an old empire. We know everything about that, so we're not confused about that. But when you're saying that you're trying to make Azum the whole of Africa, no, that's just one part of Africa. Africa is huge.
Okay.
I'm talking about the biblical connection between Africa.
There is no biblical. Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
You can see that I muted everyone for Amujale to air his view, because he's not just talking based on feeling. He's talking based on his research and what he believes that he knows. Not just belief system. What he knows. Now, what I want us to do is this. It's a simple ball game. I'm going to draft out a topic on this. I have an historian as well that has done research into the ancient Greek Turak. What do they call it?
Turak. Yes,
I'm going to bring in.
And you are
also going to be available. No being me, everyone here, we are going to be available, because we need to make logical sense. So without anybody stopping Amujale from talking, I want Amujale to have the floor. The next 5 minutes, Amujale, I want you to summarize your views. Immediately you are done, and new being me, you will summarize your own view also. In short, I'm making it 3 minutes so that there is no repetitive stuff. 3 minutes. Then I see Madam Claudia also has something to say. you give us that. We must live here with value today. Then Jim will have the floor also to tell us what he believes in that. Let me tell you, Jim is my friend, a very close one, and he doesn't necessarily need to practice Christianity before we flow together, and we have discussed so many stuff together. So I want everybody that is expressing themselves not to see anyone not believing in what you believe in, anyone not knowing what you tend to know, to be an opponent. So I don't want that clash. I want knowledge to be delivered here. So you have the floor now, Amunjale.
Right. You see, one thing that is quite important that we seem to have lost in the discussion or in day-to-day activity is that the fact that as us Africans, we actually are foundational to a lot of intellectual capacity. For instance, if I should tell you that Africans created paper, what would you say? Africans were literate before colonization and enslavement. What would you say about that?
I said that at the beginning.
So, and another thing is that mathematics was invented by Africans. Architecture. Good. So these are the things that we need to be concentrated on, not on ideologies, on text that has been written hundreds of years ago for purpose of colonization and enslavement. That's what it is. These texts were based on colonization and enslavement. They're like tools. They were tools of the conqueror. So my thing is this: what we don't need anything. We just need us. That's what we need. We need ourselves. We need to just think. I mean, like the Chinese did. Can you see how the Chinese look at the Chinese today? 1988. I want you to look at China in 1980s and China today and see the difference. They're a superpower. They're a superpower today. And in 1980, they were actually, very low down in the pecking order. So, based on the fact that what they did was that they went back, they locked everything out and they concentrated on themselves. And that's what we should do. That's exactly what we should. We should discard all the nonsense that has been peddled to us, and look at us. We've got everything. There's nothing that we don't have. Everything. There's nothing under the sun that we don't have. There isn't. So, like I said earlier, most of these intellectual properties were created by us. So so when I hear people saying that,
how did they steal the courts? How did you get?
So when I hear people saying that that this is our culture, that is our culture, that we're related to this, we're related to that, it's just weird. Something that would not no African would say this, like in the 1st century BCE. You would never hear an African saying that we're related to some fictitious character.
Okay, so your time is up. Amunjale.
Yes.
From your contribution now, I've seen what you have said here. That all we need is in us.
Ourselves, like China did.
But in summary, the solution to the challenges we human beings are facing, we need to draw it out from within.
That's right.
Thank you so very much. While I go to Madam Nubimi, you have the floor now. Nubimi. Okay, I think Nubimi is having network challenge. Let's go to Madam Claudia. You have the floor now.
They are in the Caribbean.
Oh, weather condition. Okay. While we are waiting for them to have a good audio. Jim, I think it's time for you to react now.
The open-mindedness conversation that you began the show with was absolutely what I appreciate about how patient you've been with dealing with this gentleman. People have issues with faith, and you know, when it comes to historians, they're going to challenge every aspect of why you call your faith a reasonable, and they're also going to challenge the fact that it could be doubted reasonable. In other words, faith is not a bad thing. I don't think anybody's saying that. What he's saying is the body is the temple, your soul, your country, you basically your everything is always centered in you. Um, Once again, I look at everybody. If I look at you, I consider you a god. If I look at a tree, yeah, it's to me it's God. It represents God. The things that Bible does not really represent for me are things like whiteness. I hate to say it. It reminds me of whiteness, and it just keeps on pushing me to the like, well, why are I mean, I understand there's history behind it. Is there something that's stolen? I believe that there was if the gentleman knows his history, there was a papal stage where a Khazarian stage took over, and a king had to give up. If he knows what I'm talking about, I think. But anyway, I am only trying to fill in. I was waiting to make a statement. But yeah, if Claudia or anybody else is here, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much for keeping to time, Jim. Okay, we have
Thank you so
Madam.
much. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Very
Very
well.
well.
Okay, first and foremost, I wanted to say thank you, brother Amujale, for the historical and academic information, because it was that mentors like you who helped me to search even further. Now, I think that there's enough secular, spiritual, and other information to back what I am putting out there. So we're saying that all these characters, Solomon, Sheba, all of this was made up. It was a whole made up story. There's no oral history. There's no written history. There's no template that came from Egypt. I mean, yes, we have to find ourselves as Africans, but there has to be a foundation. And I think our ancestors, whether 3,000 years, 7,000 years from ago to now, they laid a template out. Whether they put that writing on oral traditions, whether they put it on the walls, whether they put it on animal skins, whether they put it on papyrus, or whether we have it now in writing. I do believe that during a lot of the many colonial or invasions, whether it's Roman invasions or Western
Yep.
invasions or Greek invasions or Babylonian invasions, that that allowed a lot of opportunities for knowledge to be stolen, knowledge to be corrupted, and some form of truth to be spared. So I feel that I agree with you. From a Western perspective,
Truth to be
the white
spared.
Jesus is rubbish. The white Jesus is totally rubbish. I can understand why there is atheism and but I'm not, again, I'm not saying there's other faiths, Buddhism, Hinduism. I feel that there is truth in all of it, but just through our expansion, through our collective knowledge, through sharing, through similar stories, different names, different regions. And I really believe that colonialism, again, I'm not just talking about Greeks, the Romans, and that, but the post in the Western inflection really devastated and interrupted a lot of writings. And I feel that Ethiopia, Aksum, the little sliver that we have left of whatever Kushite kingdom, has a lot of those writings to back up what we're saying. I'm not talking religiously. I'm talking just in terms of our sovereignty as African people and indigenous melanated people all around the world that have been trading with each other way before
Wow. Wow.
Okay, our
Okay,
time is
I
up.
think your time
Time
is
is up.
up. So
Yes,
this is getting more interesting. This is
yes,
getting
I agree
interesting.
with
And
New
okay, madam.
Mobile.
Okay.
I agree with her 100%. In terms of African history, starting from Ethiopia, from Genesis 2nd all the way to Deuteronomy 28, is there. Our history starts from Ethiopia and everything came down the River Nile. So, Africa plays a very historic part when it comes to history throughout the world. Everything started in Africa and branched out throughout the four corners of the earth. If you go to South America, you see the African history. You go to North America, dear. You go to Europe, we civilize every country on earth. Hello?
We are
We can hear
listening. We
you
are
now.
listening
Hello?
to you.
You have 2 minutes
I
more.
thought I was frozen for a minute.
No.
Did
We
you
are
hear
listening
what I just said?
perfectly
Yes.
well.
I'm having bad connection because there's the Harris tropical storm in the Caribbean Sea. So I'll be in and out, in and out, in and out.
Okay. You know what,
Yeah.
Madam Claudia, if there is any prayer I'm praying for you, I'm busy looking out for when you will be back to the continent of Africa, where there will be no storm, no what they call it, hurricane and the likes disturbing you there, because great African children should return back to the motherland so that we can come in with all these ideas. We can't have all these ideas and we are too separated from each other. I look forward
Yes.
to the period where the universe is going to bring all of us together. Amujale, Claudia, Dr. Ojo, everybody will be
Then
back
Jim, we come and
to turn Africa to the right path where it needs to be. And now, with that being said, I think now, Dr. Ojo, you have the floor.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody's view contributed to this platform. So, like the Cetros have said, this is a learning platform, right? So it's very important that we see the same and share our opinion without like just share our opinion, and then everybody can learn from it, and people can on their own terms pick whatever they think they are learning from each and every one of us. So I perfectly understand everybody's view, where they are coming from. I've had a lot of debate and discussion on these topics many times, right? So, and this does even has to do with my own belief and opinion and stuff like that. So I was just actually trying to throw more light on what the lady was saying, right? And the truth is there is element of truth in everything, because nobody has it all. Nobody has it all. There's element of truth in everything. So the whole truth is when we had everybody's opinion together. It's like a puzzle. When we fix it to where they belong, that's when we are gonna get the truth. Not just from us on this platform. In addition to a lot of other millions of people out there that has different view and opinions. So that's how we get the whole truth. Nobody's completely correct here right now. So we all have little fraction of the truth based on what we know, what we have seen, what we have heard, what we have read. But how to arrange it in the order it's supposed to be is what nobody has an answer to yet. That's where the God factor come in. God has been someone that is superior than us, right? So I need to clear that. So, but some question that I have for Mr. Amujale, which you don't necessarily have to answer right now. It could be when Mr. Cetro bring us back together for another topic. Is one, I would like you to maybe do more research or your findings, or if you already know it, that's fine too. Where did Africa or Africans start from? Where do they have their roots? That's one. Two, you said that African has everything, which the last meeting we said, right? I actually share the same view about a lot of things started from Africa, a lot of discovery, a lot of inventions started from Africa, got repackaged by the Western, rebranded the hardest creativity and innovation left and right, and they sell it back to us. I said that last time if you were here, or if you can go listen to the last week presentation. So maybe that will also let you know some of my own view too. So, but the only thing that Africa is still lacking as a human race, what I personally think Africa is lacking that we don't have, or we don't have it the way we're supposed to have it in its entirety, is love. Africans do not have the true and genuine love for one another. We have love individually, but true and genuine love for one another, we are lacking it. We are lacking it. So that's just to point to that fact. I mean, we have everything, like you have said, which I'm not against, but that true love, genuine love, one for another, yeah, it's not there yet. We are still lagging behind on that, right? So now another question I have for you is that, now, if we have everything, right, why have we not been able to do everything that we're supposed to do, or that we're supposed to have done? And why did the colonial master, why was it easier? Why was it possible for them to have human life, Africans exchange for wine, for mirror, for things that doesn't even make sense if we think about it right now? If we have everything, why did that happen? Where are all those our strong rulers, our leadership that still exists today, still practicing their monarchy system? Where were they at that time? Because they were there too at that time. They were existing at that time too. Where were they? Why couldn't they come to our rescue? Why did they allow that to happen? And even after it happened, with all their spiritual power, with everything that we have and everything, why has none of them publicly, physically, been able to confront the colonial master, to demand those things that were stolen, to demand justice, to demand reconciliation, to demand, payback, or whatever you can, or you can, whatever language you can? Why did they not do that? Why have they not been able to do that? That's a question for you, Mr. Amujali. Now, as we are talking right now, moving away from you now, I'm going general now. As we are talking right now, right? The Queen died recently, right? It's not up to how many weeks now, right? As we are talking right now, the internet, their chronological book or their documentation has been updated. As we are talking right now, the moment the Queen died and everything that is going on as we speak right now in the royal kingdom is being updated, is being documented. Now, this we can also refer to what we discussed last week, right? That's one of the challenges with Africa. We need to, I think we need to sit down and study history, understand history, listen to other people's view, and now come up with what is going to help us. Because I think most of the time Africans tend to be just one-sidedness. They just tend to go and make decisions out of that bitterness of, okay, this is what was done to us. This is what X did to us. This is what was wrong. But we are not looking inward. We're not looking at ourselves, that what did we do to ourselves, or what didn't we do that we're supposed to do, that's supposed to help us, right? Because if we talk about the monarchy system in the United Kingdom and how they have done us so much evil and everything, which is the topic we are debating on, right? Now, they have the technology, they have all the instruments, right? As we are speaking, they are updating every day. So even if you go to the internet and you want to search for anything, like I said, not a lot of people will have the chance across the globe to go to my village, to go to the palace in Oyo, or in Ife, or in the East, that you have to ask them about X, Y, Z. Most people will go to the technology, they'll go to the internet. What is African doing? What are they doing? So that those are the things that are causing all this problem, because we are not doing things certain way, and we are getting certain results, and we are getting angry and angrier and angrier, and we are not rectifying those issues that are fundamental to the problem, and and fundamental to the solution as well. You see what I'm saying? So that's my own. That's just what me I'm trying to point out to. Like, we cannot just be pointing finger in one direction without looking at the other direction, because it takes two to be in a fight.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Dr. Ojo. Your 3 minutes was elapsed as
Oh,
elapsed. So now, okay, I think my wife wants to say something.
No, you.
She doesn't want to say anything. Okay, let's go back to where we are coming from. We're talking about the death of someone that has been considered very powerful. The owner of the whales, the owner of countries,
She has a private ATM.
the owner. Why you are condemning somebody that they just moved bully van to his house here in Nigeria? This one has private ATM machine in our domain. Why you are condemning the young man called Gaddafi, who was taking good care of his citizens, that when they give birth, he pays them thousands of dollars, whether they are working or not, while he ensured that there is constant electricity in that country, even till the point that they were fighting serious war within themselves, there was still electricity. This lady died now, and the whole world is sitting back looking at the mysteries around her life. And if everything works according to proper discovery of human being, according to one of these Greek philosopher, he says, man, know thyself. Man, know thyself. And when you are faced with two evil, you choose the lesser evil, is what the slogan of most Africans are, instead of trying to know themselves. Irrespective of the religion we practice, irrespective of the color, the skin tone we have on our body, irrespective of the way we speak and we call ourselves, oh, this is from the West, this is from the South, this is from the North, this is Africa. I want us to check our blood. The blood still remains red.
Red blood cells.
Meaning that we are all and same. Weather and time is what has happened to us all. What did I say? Weather and time. So whatever we believe, if it does not translate to removing pain from the next person that can be called human, whether is an African, whether is an European, whatever we have in life that does not translate to reducing pain from the next person, then you must know that you are only an emblem of selfishness, selfish interest, self-aggrandization, and you are also a colonialist. If there's any English, a colonialist. Now,
I agree with that statement, because it's that universal statement that if you're taking more than you know, let's say you are abundant. If you are abundant and you take more than you need, then what does that make you? In essence, if people are not I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he made a great point. He's saying the mindset. He was bringing up mindset about African people, and like your mindset can be colonialized, and it's that's I think that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
And he said things that were harsh about the Bible, and I understand people can get like offense to that, but listen to what he says. It's not necessarily a detriment. He's saying, look what way the path was laid out for you.
Okay. Thank you for that contribution. Although you just cut my flow, Jim. So you pay a fine.
I'm so patient. I've been here patient.
Okay, so with that being said, something just happened this night. We might not know it. Is the connection of different souls, different
Yes.
mindset, different way of seeing things that is bringing us together. And if we continue like this
We're going
with
to make
different
a change.
mindset, different
Positive
flow,
change.
you collect the best
Good.
in this, the best in that. Then we also know that while we are working on ourselves, we should also prepare for those that want to work against us in the future, so that we prevent the negative mindset people from what using us as pawns, just like Steve M said. We should refuse to be used as pawns against each other. We should refuse to be used as a toolbox. And how do we do that? Is by learning from the fact that the death of this queen should open us up for the beginning of new things, new way of thinking, new way of demanding for
Living
our
the
rights,
human race of pain.
new ways of knowing that one day you'll be gone out of this world. What will people say about you? Gaddafi is dead now. He died. Why? I'm sure while Gaddafi was dying, everybody was saying crucify him. But now,
You're
what has
making
the
this is a hard argument because you're
what
saying
has
that because
what has
it's a
the
hard
country
argument because this power
Jim, I'm muting you. What has the country turned into? What has Libya
Libya
turned into?
now.
Now we have a beautiful queen that is smiling, everly smiling. And all I could hear from the continent of Africa and from India is bring back what you have stolen from us. How long are Africans going to allow themselves to be stolen? We refuse to allow this in us. And that's why we must borrow idea from Nubin Me, must borrow idea from Amujale, must borrow idea from Dr. Ojo, must borrow idea from Madam Claudia,
From
Madam
Jim,
Olaomi, Jim Barak, and the Cetrus, everyone
Stephen,
that have positive mindset. Let's look inward because it doesn't end here. The life we touch today we speak a lot after us, despite the fact that Africans always say, do not say bad about the dead. But let me tell you, some bad, we stand up and start saying them after the dead is confirmed dead. So, with that being said, we've come to the conclusion of today's discussion. Uh, okay, I think there is a question for Jim to answer. Where is Jim?
Jim,
Okay. As a better
Yes.
option to work. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we really appreciate you.
our
And
fundraising.
Amujale, please
We're going to have
kindly
this
know that
every
you are
Sunday.
part of the family now. We love you. We love the way you present your stuff. It really shows that Africans have it upstairs. So every Sunday, 9:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Where are you? Are you in Nigeria or outside? Amujale, are
I'm
you in
in UK,
Nigeria?
UK.
Okay, you are in the UK. Okay, so Nigerian time,
It's the
please.
same. I think it's the same for now. I think we use the same time.
Okay, so I'll be sending the topic ahead so that we get ourselves prepared. We are not just doing this for talk show. We have where we are going to. We are looking at what is happening and we're using it to plan the future of our youth, because a lot of grammar will not change the life of our youth. And I have the audacity to tell you that I have the privilege rather to tell you that we took about two of our youths out over the weekend to expose them to events, photography, videography, and it was wonderful.
Great.
One of them I just started. I'm telling you, the guy is just like a super brilliant chap in terms of camera handling to get nice portraits. So we are so grateful. That's how we can continue to touch lives all around us. So if you are
Yes.
out there, you know any Nigerian youth, you know any Ghanaian youth, you know any African youth, so far they are within the continent of Africa and they need to be supported in one training or the other, kindly reach out to us. And if you are out there, you have knowledge in numerous crafts, our training is coming. Our annual youth conference is around the corner by November this year. We want you to join us live, any country where you are in, to help train our youth. At least just try in any way, whether you are contributing financially or you are contributing intellectually. All we just want you to do is try to do something for the African youth.
Yes.
Train these youth on something, let them be more
Yes.
useful so that
Yes.
they will not end up as idiots being used to kill one another. That is
Exactly.
how we can bring Africa to limelight. So with that being said, we appreciate all those that have been supporting us on our GoFundMe account, those that have been sending to us to assist the foundation. We really, really appreciate you. And the renter that we were raising to pay the rental for the training space, we really appreciate you. We have just about $395 to go. We so appreciate everyone. Game Amp Me is saying something. Great discussion.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Abu
Abu
Jali,
Jali,
for the
for the
reasoning.
reasoning. Good. Then
Says,
Okay, good night. Good night, Good night, Dr. Ojo.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Thanks. Good night.
Good
Good
night,
night to
everyone.
everyone.
Grateful
Good
to
night to
have them.
Jim.
Yes.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
Jim. Good night to everyone that
Yes.
was on
Good
this
night to you.
platform tonight.
Thank you. Good night.
And I hope everyone keeps supporting the Central Foundation for the great and hard and dedicated work that they're doing towards strengthening and uplifting the youth in Nigeria, especially the poor and have-nots, don't have any helper, and yet they're bringing them up to a level so they can be self-reliant and
Yes.
independent, so they could make themselves a better man, a better African man and woman. So
Wow.
I'm here with everyone tonight, and be behind Mr. Setcho for the great work you're doing, and congratulations, Mr. Setcho. God bless you and bless everyone on this platform, and have a blessed night.
Wow, thank you. So our GoFundMe link will be in the description. I want
Yes.
somebody to complete
Okay,
this
I would.
statement. Madam Claudia, one full a basket.
Yes, that's the say we have saying in the Caribbean, one full of basket. Yes, that's an old saying in the Caribbean, one full of basket. So,
Full a
and I
basket.
believe it came from Africa originally. A lot of the sayings that came down during slavery days, and they're still here with us.
Yes.
Huh?
Makes sense.
Yes.
Madam Claudia,
Yes.
games that me own. You know what our slogan is? The squeaky
Pardon me?
wheel. The games
I didn't
amp
hear
me.
that.
Games amp me. We say the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
That's a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so
Bye
very much.
bye. Okay, see
Yes.
everybody. I'm leaving now.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye,
Take
Sister
care. See
Claudia.
you next time.
Bye.
Okay, I'll talk to you to Mr. Setcho tomorrow. Bye.
Okay,
Okay, bye.
bye-bye.